On this episode, we decided to turn things up a notch with our budget race car projects by making budget upgrades to America's most hated small block, the 307.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around. Can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide, always down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, been holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time for a good time.
Alright guys, Dan here with Hatch's Recreational Engineering, and we're back. It's been a few minutes since we've put out a video, but we have not stopped working on the car. I mean, as you saw from the intro video, we have basically done a total revamp of the Junkyard 70. So let's dive into it. Now, before I get started with this video, I want to give a huge thanks to Dariusz at T4 Carburetors and Gary Nelson from Aldan American for sponsoring this project. They both hooked us up with parts that are going to make a total difference to the way this car performs. So a huge thank you to those guys. Dariusz at T4 Carburetors hooked us up with this super rowdy 600 CFM carb. So let's take a ride over to his shop and have him explain what he did with it. All right, so we're here at T4 Carburetors picking up our recently built carburetor for the junkyard race car project, and this is Dariusz with T4 Carburetors.
How's it going, everyone?
And he's going to give us the quick rundown on what he put together for us that is really going to help solve the fuel issue we were having the last time we tried to run the car.
All right, so what I built here was a 600 CFM double pumper, according to the specs that they gave me for the 307. So what I did, basically this carburetor started out looking like this. It's a process that I do. I clean all the castings, prep them, and then we do what's called a chromate conversion coating like Holly does. I do that here in-house. And then the metering blocks, I make them fully adjustable so we could tune it at the track for him. He's got custom straight leg boosters. And this is basically, I call it like the sleeper version. It doesn't look like it's much of a performance car, but it's got all the goodies like a Holly HP carburetor would. And he's gonna put it on and we'll see what it does at the track.
Definitely going to be a huge upgrade from where we were. I mean, this is no two barrel now, and this should really get us moving. And Dariusz does this. He's, a carburetor guy. He's you can actually hook up with him on his website at T4 Carburetors online, and you accept carbs from anywhere in the country, right?
Yeah,
you mail
all over.
So, and he works on everything. That's a demon right there on top. He built the Holly for us. I've seen you've done quadrojet stuff, I think, right?
Yeah,
a little bit of everything.
Right here, I just got finished doing one for a Volkswagen Beetle.
So he does it all here.
Yeah. Give us a call. You got any questions? This is just my passion. This is what I do. Like helping people out and just seeing them enjoy their old rides.
It's awesome. And you know he's like, he really knows what he's doing because he's also a Nova guy. So, not that he's basically built carburetors for all my friends and family. So I already knew that he was good. But when I came here for the first time, I immediately knew he was the best when I saw his Nova.
The heartbeat.
So this is his 433.
434.
434 cubic inch small block that he actually just got done building for this car.
Yeah.
Fresh off a dyno session. And this thing's almost ready to go back together, right?
Yes, sir. Hopefully very soon.
And this is pump gas too.
Yes, pump gas. Yep. Pump gas, and it's a small block, but it makes power like a big block would.
I just heard of it. I don't want to give too much away
I got some grudge races.
He's got some. But I just heard a video of this thing on the dyno, and this thing screams. It sounds amazing. Make sure to reach out to Dariusz with any of your carburetor needs. Again, I'll put the link in the description. T4 Carburetors, and make sure to hit him up. He'll hook you up. Give them some. You just need some basic information to kind of get going.
We do anything from just a simple rebuild, or if you want something for a race application, I would just need engine specs, camshaft information, and we could take it from there. From anything from mild to wild, they say.
Yeah, nice. So make sure to reach out to Dariusz, and he could help you with any and all of your carburetor needs. So we're gonna take our new carburetor and slap that thing on our recently put together motor and see what we could do. And thank you.
All right, thank you.
Again, a huge thanks to Dariusz for hooking us up with that. Now, if you guys remember the way that this thing was set up, it had coil springs in the front, sat really super nose high, and I love the way that it sat, but this thing rode like a shopping cart. It was awful. Knocks the fillings out of your mouth. When the front end would hit a bump, it would basically do a wheelie. It was terrible. So Gary hooked us up with a set of double adjustable front coilovers and double adjustable rear shocks, which are really going to help us, put that power to the ground when we bring this thing to the track. Also, with the adjustability in these front coilovers, we were able to crank them way up so we could retain our nose-high stance, but actually have suspension that works and has suspension travel. Anytime you install a coilover, it is so much easier than that front coil spring. If you remember, we really wrestled with those coil springs. This coilover kit went right in flawlessly. I super recommend these. So far, the little bit of street driving we've been doing on these things, the car handles phenomenal. Good. The ride quality is way better. It doesn't feel like a lawnmower, right? So super happy with the way that the suspension's working on this thing, and can't wait to see how it does at the track. Now let's dive into the engine. I know when we put out the video of the 350 we picked up running in that engine stand we built, a lot of you commented that you wanted to see that engine go in this car. But after our $300 307 clipped off a 15.9 at 81 miles an hour, I was not ready to give up on this thing. I wanted to make, this platform faster. Now, a lot of you probably already have a 307 in a car, maybe. Or if you don't, these engines are everywhere. Facebook Marketplace is loaded with 307 cubic inch small block Chevys for basically a dime a dozen. I've actually had people give me 307.
I hope it works. It was before me. I got the guy I got off of his dad bought it. He was a second owner.
Okay.
And his dad died in the early 90s, so it's sat since 89.
So it's a pretty undervalued engine. I wanted to upgrade on this platform to show you that if you're working on a budget like me, I don't have anything here. I'm not an engine builder. We didn't need any machine work for any of the stuff that we did to this car. We did it in a one-car garage, 2 guys hammering it out a couple nights a week, and I think that that's where a lot of you guys are probably at. So before we even start going through what we did to this engine, I'm into this including the purchase price of the engine, for less than $2,000. I mean, come on, you can't really beat that. I guess we'll see if it was worth it or not when we take this thing back to the track, but I can already tell you that just off of the street driving I've been doing in this thing, it was totally worth it. This thing is pretty spicy. So let's dive in and explain what I did here. So we ditched the stock intake, carb, heads, and cam. And we upgraded that to some 305 vortec cylinder heads. Obviously, we're still on a budget. So what we decided to do with this thing was we bought eBay heads. These units that I'm dangerously diving off the edge of the table here are some 305 vortec heads that I ordered exactly as you see them. They were just over, a little over $300 a piece for an assembled head. These have, stainless steel valves in them, and seats. They have screw-in studs already, so the bosses are machined down.
You're gonna put guide plates in.
We're gonna put guide plates in this, but
because this is all cheap.
Now, we put a stage 4 Summit 4.7 swap cam in this thing. So we had to change out the valve springs, but we went with a spring that still allowed us to keep all the stock seals and retainers and all that stuff. So all we had to do, I bought an Amazon spring compressor tool. My dad and I one night swapped the springs out on the bench here, and the heads were ready to go. Now, those heads are anywhere between like $300 to $400 off, per piece off of eBay. They're a cast iron head. They flow way better than what we had on there, and they're 58cc combustion chambers, so they're busting our compression way up there. We also went with a RPM air gap imitation intake manifold, Chinese piece off of Amazon, and like I said before, we went with that Summit Stage 4 hydraulic flat tappet cam, which is a spicy little unit. I'll put links to all the parts that we used on this top end kit, this top end rebuild that we did. So if you want to try and recreate this setup at home, you could totally do it. Now we went with a 1.6 to 1 roller rocker arm, and anything over like a 1.5 to 1 ratio rocker arm, they don't sell them in a self-centering rocker arm, and vortec heads require a self-centering rocker arm for those push rods. So because we already had screw-in studs for our rocker arms, we were able to run a guide plate. So that's how I got away with doing the 1.6 to 1 rocker arms. We put the guide plates in there. Now when you're making these kind of upgrades, always make sure to measure your push rod length. Get one of those adjustable push rod tools if you don't have one, because with putting the guide plates and stuff in here, we did have to get different push rods. Small box Chevy stuff, they remake all this. They have so many different variations that you can pretty much always find the length you need. So it's not like we had to get custom push rods, but they do need to be hardened if you're going to run the guide plates. So a stock 307 makes somewhere in the ballpark of like 8.1 to 1 compression. With the upgrades that we've done to this thing, we're now making 9.88 to 1 compressions. I cannot wait to see what it's going to do with the track. I think we're going to make some significant upgrades to what we ran last time. And I can tell you just from the little bit that we've been ripping around on it, that this thing is a blast to drive on the street. It really feels like a whole new car. We're going to beat the snot out of this thing. So if we're definitely going to torture chest it before you decide to do it to your car at home or buy a 307 and make some upgrades to it. I mean, I would totally recommend this setup. Just thus far. This thing is a ride. It sounds healthy. It sounds like a race car now. And it's pretty sweet. So that's pretty much it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this thing. Let me know if you think it was worth the price. Like I said, I'll have all the receipts and stuff posted with part numbers so you can see exactly what I ordered, how much it costs, and recreate this setup if you wanted to at home. By the time this video comes out, we'll be trailing the car down to Cecil County, Maryland to race it. So you know, like I said, we're definitely going to run this thing through its paces. So let me know what you think about it so far. Let me know if you would do it to your car, if you want to see more 307 stuff, or if you just don't care. Just put the 350 in it and call it a day. So let me know what you think. That's going to do it for this video, and we will see you next time.